Yeah. All-star. Garments, I'm an all-star. In every sport. Bases loaded, we running full court. It's a touchdown, you better press record. I'm a champion with rings, but I need more. Anyone can witness greatness in its prime. I'm not talking telling on a homie when I'm dropping dimes. It's a dub, it's a trade, now I'm going all-American. I can name 3 different players that I'm better than. I'm an all-star.
Welcome, surf fans, to the SAMBAZON World Junior Championships, hosted by Best Western, WSL Post Show, the only official post show of the day. Chris Cote here with Rosie Hodge, Mitchell Salazar. We've got a lot to unpack of day one action here. We saw 8 different looks at Seaside Reef throughout the day. Beautiful, perfect in the morning. Things got a little challenging, but still highly contestable throughout the entire day. What a way to start, Rosie.
Yeah, both men's and women's hitting the deck. Like you said, the conditions changed throughout the day. I love the way that the competitors capitalized and really were ferocious. Just a good day of surfing, just a solid setup for the event.
Yeah, and maybe the best junior field we've ever seen in the history of this event, too. I really dug it. Some good performances in challenging conditions at the end, too. How about Kika Veselko's 7.67 to finish off the day?
An epic way to finish. So before we get to our top 5s and all the action through the day, let's take a look back at what we saw on the last heat of the day. We saved the best for last. I'm talking about the highest heat total, Francisca Veselko, with a whopping 13.67. That was one of the highest heats we saw of the day. The last highlight heat of the men, we're going to get right into it. We saw some incredible surfing for our 8 heats of men. Adur came through strong in an early heat. This was heat 5. And this was one of those heats where, of course, anyone's game. 3 amazing surfers in the lineup. Mitch, Adur came out swinging on his opening waves.
Yeah, this was the first wave of the heat, too. Opened up with a 7.33. I thought he was in great position, really, to capitalize and get the win. But it was Levi Slauson who came back at a 5 and then eventually got a 7.33 himself, too.
Well, before Chris can say it, I'm going to say it for him because this was Chris's pick this morning to do really well in this event. And he showed us like local knowledge and as well as like red hot surfing. That combination is going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah, I said thank you, Rose, but I should be saying thank you, Levi, for making me look smart. The kid went out there and did what he does on most days out here at Seaside Reef. And I like that he came in feeling good, feeling confident, but knowing that his job just started. So we have a opening window all the way till Sunday of this coming week. But after today, that means we only need about 3 days full competition. And I tell you, we've got some amazing swell down the line. Here's the results of round of 24 Heat 5, Levi Slauson getting the win. But Adur Amatrain, with that 7.33 and a 3.93, definitely put his name on that list of surfers to watch. I'll tell you, the second round was just absolutely stuffed with incredible talent. So if you did win your first round heat today, men or women, you got to skip the second round. For the rest of the surfers, that second round is looking awfully lethal as we move on. For the women, the heat of the day that got us all fired up was another incredible matchup. I mean, we featured 8 heats of men, 8 heats of women, 3 surfers in each heat. So in looking back, we knew that Sierra Kerr was going to go out there and do some amazing surfing. Of course, she had the good luck charm on the beach, and her dad and mom. So Sierra Kerr went out there, got that big start. But from the jump of this heat, I mean, we knew this was going to be a battle from the very start.
Well, you know, we earmarked this heat this morning. Sawyer Lindblad, I mean, it's really hard to go past her form, just how impeccable her forehand is. Mitch, I'm so impressed with this woman. Every time she stands up on a surfboard, her surfing's improved so much.
And what's scary about her is that this is really only about 60 to 70% of what she's actually capable of. So get her on some better conditions, some cleaner conditions. I think she's easily going to be in contention to be one of the favorites and eventually become a World Junior Champion at the end of this event. Got to come back from Sierra at the end, though, but I still think that Sawyer was able to not only capitalize on our opportunities, but also really surf a very smart heat.
And Sawyer had a huge heat total as well, 13.33, one of the highest single wave scores of the event as well, a 7.5. Surfers that found themselves in the 7 or above more often than not throughout the day moved through. You know, her backup, that 5.83. just showing, of course, that the consistency, the presence of mind, Sawyer Lindblad, with all the heat she's surfed, all the events that she's won throughout 2022, she's bringing that momentum here into 2023. And speaking of momentum, not easy to surf in the last heat of the day, but Francisca Vaselko did it and did it well. She's standing by now with AJ.
Cote, you just said it. It's not always easy being the last heat of the day, but you said it was actually an advantage for you to get to watch the other surfers take the waves out here all day long. What did you learn that you applied to your heat?
Yeah, being here all day is a little bit tiring, so I came for a free surf in the morning, went back home, had breakfast, and then a couple heats before I paddle out here on the left to get a little bit of practice. And yeah, I learned a lot. I feel like with this, like the waves got pretty big, and I could tell that maybe the first wave of the set wasn't the right one, and then I had a little bit of time, well, a lot of time to check the waves and see which ones were the best for some good scores.
How much pressure does it take off of you knowing that you don't have to surf in the next round?
It feels pretty nice, but I was talking to my coach and we were focusing on making it through, but if not, that would be all good, because then it would be another chance to be out there, spend more time in the peak, and yeah, get some more practice.
Now, you live in Portugal, so você quer dizer alguma coisa para amigos e familiares em volta?
Sim. Obrigada a todos por estarem a apoiar em Portugal. Foi o primeiro hit do ano, passei em primeiro lugar aqui no World Juniors na Califórnia, em San Diego. As condições estavam super difíceis, mas consegui superar e amanhã vai estar off, mas no dia a seguir já vai estar on e vamos com tudo. Bora Portugal.
Parabéns.
Obrigada.
Thank you, AJ. Congrats to Vaselko getting through there. And I think we all learned a lot today. The competitors learned a lot about Seaside Reef, and I think the rest of us learned about some new competitors. Of course, these are surfers that have come from all over the world, the best in their region. So, in Portugal, in Japan, in Costa Rica, some of the regions that these surfers are coming from, of course, they're household names. But when you come to Southern California, where we have thousands and thousands of famous pro surfers, it's really cool to learn about some of these up-and-coming surfers like Francisca right there. She took out an incredibly stacked heat with Ella McCaffrey and Sarah Wakita. So speaking of stacked, we have swells stacking upon swells. The Surfline forecast could be an eye-opener. As we look towards the rest of the week, we have until Sunday in our competition window. So all these purple blobs, the reds coming straight at us, nonstop storm activity. Rosie, we're in for a wild ride this week.
Yeah, a lot of swell on tap. Tomorrow, that side onshore wind is really going to kick up, so the conditions are going to deteriorate. But when we look through that week, Mitch, it looks like it's going to be good. When it's orange, that's a good sign.
I know, and Thursday to me, honestly, even though it's a little bit smaller, I think with those head-to-head matchups, it's actually going to be a bit better, a lot more manageable. 30-minute heats, it's going to be perfect out there.
Yeah, so we will wait and see what happens tomorrow morning when we get the call from Travlogi. But for today, weaving in and out of these heats and figuring out our top five, not an easy task. We just went with the numbers. So here are your top five performances of the day. Day one of the SAMBAZON World Junior Championships hosted by Best Western. Our top five moments are as follows. Of course, if she's in an event, she's most likely going to be in the top five. I'm talking Erin Brooks.
Yeah, Erin Brooks was so impressive. I mean, her go for an attitude, the fact that she needed a score and some of the things that she was laying on the line, I was like, wow, she was getting exploded on huge sections and really had to wait to make a buzzer beater moment to get through this heat.
I like that call though, Rosie. She did go for it when, she's putting her body at risk. It's the first round. You don't necessarily need to do this. You can skip the round with the victory. She did just that, and what a victory, Chris.
Yeah, of course, that winning smile that we see from Erin Brooks. She was waving at us in the commentary booth. A little shout out from Brooks. Well, Callie Voss came through as a pick by most of the commentary team, and he made everybody proud here. This was pretty cool to see what the first heat of the day looked like. Groomed, perfect, glassy, super fun Seaside Reef, and Callie Voss made the most of it.
A very smart heat, I felt. He's coming off an impressive performance in Haleiwa, Rosie, but to me, the thing that impressed me the most is that he went out there and surfed like the veteran that he already is now. He didn't make a single mistake.
Well, as we watch this round progress, I feel like some of the names that we were really looked to make a big impact, they looked a little rattled. But Kauli came out this morning and he looked super composed and just casual and really confident.
Yeah, and I think the confidence runs through the family, because Island Voss came up later on in the afternoon, and she went out there and did her job as well. She was kind of right in the middle of the pack throughout this entire heat, but then in literally buzzer beater fashion, she probably had about 2 to 3 seconds left before the horn blows. She got this wave and finished it so strong.
We were in the booth for this heat, Chris. I mean, she opened up with a 6-point ride and then really struggled to find that backup. We were even questioning whether she got the ride in time, and looking back at the replay, I mean, just such solid surfing. That was insane.
It's gnarly the way these surfers at such a young age are able to attack these big sections with no fear. She's only 18 years old. Imagine what she's going to be doing in a couple of years.
Yeah, not just one of the top 5 waves, but one of the top 5 turns of the day. That brings us to the final heat of the day, Francisca Vaselko. She got the highest heat total. And, while most of us were looking out there going, oh, no, it's going to be tough, it's going to be tricky, I don't think she was phased one bit. Went out there and put together a solid heat. Rode 5 waves, got a 7.67 and a 6-point ride, but the highest heat total of the event.
Yeah, solid stuff. I mean, Mitchie touched on this as we were opening up the post show. I mean, her surfing is just, you can't really shape this woman. She's on her feet every single ride.
Not at all. And a fun fact about Kika Vaselko, she was actually born in Irvine because part of her family's from Huntington Beach. Yeah.
Well, our number 1 is going to be Eli Hanneman. Not only did he get the highest wave score, but he got some of the best looking waves of the day. I mean, this kid has springs in his legs. You see him as he's going into his bottom turn. You just know something big is about to happen. Eli Hanneman coming through full force here to Seaside Reef.
Well, Eli, this is our first look at him this year. I think what he learned from last season, I think it was a character building year for him. He's coming through so strong, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
He caught me off guard a little bit, if I'm honest. I did not expect him to surf him that well out here. But under the guidance of Sean Ward, having a lot of local people around him as well at this event, he's definitely looking like one of the biggest contenders to win the whole thing, at the end of this week. And I think that what he brings to the table, too, is an incredible air game, but he's very patient, too, and that's something that a lot of people out here don't have.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at the field and looking at what happened today, Eli's one of those guys that you're like, all of a sudden, like you said, your attention turns to him, has the highest heat total of the day. How do you keep that momentum, though, as we move through the rounds?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot about the field. We learned a lot about this wave. And tomorrow morning, we're going to see if we continue through in competition. We have plenty of time left in the window. So check back with us tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But before you go, take a look at some of these highlights. You're watching the best surfers in the world, under 20 years old. So get excited, get fired up. We're crowning champions here this week. Here you go. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Welcome to Seaside. Welcome to the World Junior Championships. We have the best surfers on the planet in that under 20 age group. But I tell you, you would be hard-pressed to tell the difference between these junior surfers and even surfers all the way up to the championship tour level.
Go hard, go home. Go hard, go home. My daddy said, go hard, go home.
Well, we just saw the best number of the heat so far right there by Taro.
Looking down the line, Earl winds up off the bottom.
He rattled off 6 solid turns on that wave.
Love that turn right there, sending a lot of spray outside.
Levi Slauson utilizing that outside section to full effect.
Wow.
You can just see the confidence that Eli has.
We haven't even gone through half of the heat, and he's already going to have 15 points on the board.
Good flow through that first section. Huge maneuver.
Oh, look at the puppy.
Good luck, pup.
Such a beautiful arc there. I mean, that was great for Sawyer. Look at the wave choice, too.
Alyssa Spencer with the sharp rail work, as always. Here she goes. Aaron Brooks drops into this one. Well overhead. Nice opening carve up in the lip. There he hangs on.
Go home. Go hard, go home. My daddy said, go hard, go home. Enter in baseball. Go hard, go home.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.